Hello guys, welcome to another video. It's been a very long time since I uploaded, so let's get started. We're going to look at gold. So you know how we do things here. We always start with the highest time frame and just get a bigger picture. Then from there we will drill down and search for opportunities on smaller time frames. So make sure that you stick until the end so that you can see how I do the breakdown of this chart until we get to a point where we'll all agree and say, okay, based on what we have covered on all the time frames that we have looked at, I think this is the best option for us to do. Maybe we all agree on taking a buy trade or sell trade. So let's get started. This is how the structure looks like on the monthly chart. So when you look at the monthly chart, we have been at this level before, like we've been here, and we've found it very hard for us to to break it. So but now with what is happening around the world, the BRICS stuff, the dollar and whatnot, most people are most likely, if it all pushes in the favor of the BRICS, most people will mean that they now shift their investments or portfolios from the dollar, and then they can invest in gold or Bitcoin or whatever. So which is a bit more safer. So that's why they're trying to protect their investment. So that's why this has just gained so much momentum. So it might even break that, who knows, in the next coming months or whatever. So you just need to make sure that when you're trading, even though you're a technical trader, you still need to be aware of what is happening around the world. So for now, we're not going to predict that the price will just shoot straight and take this level out. We will say that the price, for the past few months, it has been gaining, and now it has hit a level where it has been struggling to pass since back in 2019. That's when we reached this high. We failed to move higher than it. We came back again here in 2021, then we failed to move higher than it. Now we are back again. So it all depends on the price action that we are getting around that level. We know how sensitive that level is. We know the bulls are not going to find it easy to break that. So the more they approach, the more we need to keep our eyes open and observe and see how the price looks like. Are there any signs of reversal? Or are there any signs of continuation patterns or whatever? Then that's how you'll be like, okay, based on what I'm seeing around this sensitive level, I think its price is most likely going to bounce again or it's going to break. So but for now, what I can tell you is that we are back at the same level, and we just need to make sure that we monitor it and see if we can get some sell trades, or if the price doesn't break, and then we join that. So let's look at weekly and see how is the structure looking this side. And on weekly is the same thing, because if you look at this, whether you want to draw your level from here, from there, or you want to use this one here, it doesn't matter, it's still at the same level. So what you need to look at, take from this, is that weekly is definitely moving to the upside. You can put a bullish trend line in there, and you can say that even though it's moving to the upside, but now the level that it has reached, the ceiling or the area of resistance that we have reached, it's not going to be easy for us to just shoot past it and take out this high, like I already mentioned when we're looking at it on the monthly chart. So that's why we can see that already the price is giving us some vibes that the sellers are trying to push to the downside. The reason why I'm saying this is because we can see there are bearish rejection candlesticks there, which shows that this level, there's a lot of sellers here. They're going to try and protect their zone. That's why they are rejecting the price. So their aim will be to try and get back to the trend line if they can. But if the bulls are too strong, they're still gonna be, stay there, fight until they break. Then that's when they will open more space to continue shooting to the upside. But for now, the area where we are at, there's always a possibility of a pullback. We're still very much bullish, but just because you're bullish does not mean the price should move like this. Obviously, a smooth ride or a normal wave or trend moves like this. This one is very dangerous because you can just fall like this. So let's check what we have on daily. So this is how the structure looks like on daily. We know the location on weekly. We know the location on monthly. Now this is daily. On daily, we can just say that, let's see if these structures have been taken out. We can put a bullish trend line there. Let's put a proper trend line. We can put a bullish trend line there and say the trend line has been broken. Now let's try and bring a horizontal line and just see if we broke this low here. Let me just zoom in so that you can both agree that this low has been definitely been taken out. Let's just leave it there. This is the low I'm trying to mark, this one here. If you just check this low, even on your chart, check this low compared to this low, you can see that this is definitely lower than the first one, which means we sort of went lower than this. We broke that low. So what we can conclude on a daily, we can say daily is bearish. We know that it has been moving up strongly, but just because you're going up and you're holding a buy trade, don't make that mistake where you just think that you buy trade, you know, the price will always be in a uptrend like this. Like, you do always have some pullbacks or even trend reversals. So what's important is for you to be able to identify all those sensitive areas on your chart, so that each time when you're holding a trade and the price approaches these levels, you must be careful. You must make sure that you tighten your stop losses or you exit your trade. So here on daily, already we are bearish. Anything else that we can take from this chart is that when we reached this high, the sellers pushed to the downside and they formed this, which you call bearish engulfing. So basically means the bears are becoming aggressive. That's when they manage to engulf the previous candlestick. And this agrees with what we saw on weekly, which is what? Bearish rejection candlestick, where the bears are the ones rejecting the price that side. So for now, we know that our daily is moving to the downside, but not yet very, you know, convincing, because of what? We can put there and say this is the guy that pushed to the outside, but the price hasn't given us enough space to work with. Yeah, so that's also a challenge, right? So, but nonetheless, that level has been removed, and we can then maybe shift towards, I'll just keep it here and say we will just use this ones here and say the next one would be this one. So if maybe you were to get your sell trades, you'll be targeting there around 1973.45 or 0.5, whatever number that you use, because of what? That's the next level after this one was removed. But nonetheless, the trend here is bearish. The bears not so convincing. That's what I'm saying. We still need more from them. They still need to work a bit harder for them to show us that indeed it was not a fluke. They meant what they did here. Because sometimes you'll find that they just pushed to the downside, they broke this, but it was not a convincing break like this. You see, that's another problem. And even here, they broke the trend line, but they haven't given us enough space to work with. That's another challenge. So even though we are bearish, we still don't have, you know, something that I can trust as yet on this, at least on this time frame, to say that the only thing that is pointing to the downside is the bearish engulfing and the bearish pin bar on weekly. But when you look at the structure here, other than that, we don't have anything as yet. So let's check what we have on H4. So this is our H4 chart, and we can say that let's just remove these guys here and say H4 is also going to the downside, is it? So we had a bullish trend there, and we had an area of support there, which was removed, and also the trend line removed. Then we became bearish, and the guy that did that, the guy that changed the trend, is this guy here at the top. So this is the guy that pushed to the downside and changed the trend. So the day the price goes up there, I'm not saying sell. If you're holding a buy trade, when the price gets to this, you cannot ignore this level, because you need to remember, oh, now we are touching this level. Is this level any significant? Then you remember how it was formed, what it has done, you know, it breaking the structures like that. So that's why when the price gets there, that's why it will make sense for you to set some of your take profits there. And if you get reasons to sell there, we get some confirmation, it's nothing wrong with you looking for a sell trade there, because you know what that level has achieved. So ever since the trend moved to the downside, the price managed to give us a bearish trend line. So we could put a bearish trend line there, and which means now the closest area of resistance will be this one. So yes, we do understand this is the resistance, but the closest one will be the one around there. We'll have to break this one first before we can reach the one above. So the bears are no longer in control, because of what? If they were in control, they were supposed to keep the price below the trend line. They allowed the bulls to do what? to break their trend line. But at the same time, the bulls are not yet fully in control because of what? They haven't broken any area of resistance. So basically, they can still continue like this and allow us to have a new trend line. So for now, if you're taking your buy trades, you need to end there. If you're taking your sell trades, you need to end here because of the structure that we are having. There's a possibility of the price just staying there, or there's also a chance of it breaking, going back. There's a chance of it also breaking to the downside. So we just need to make sure that at least this is removed or this is removed for us to say the direction on H4 is clear. For now, yes, the bulls, what they did, it's something good for them breaking the bearish trend line. But when you look at how they achieved that, it's not convincing. It's not like what we're having here, where you could see that what the sellers did there, they meant that that's what they wanted to do, because you can look, you can see by the type of candlesticks that we have there. And now we have this rejection candlestick. I wish it was around there, then maybe you could have used that to take a sell trade, because that's bearish rejection candlestick could mean that the sellers are becoming in. If they break the range, they could continue maybe until there. So let's check what we have on H1. So this is what we have on H1, and in terms of the trend line is the same. We would have the same trend line here like the one we had on H4, and this is the nearest resistance we have on this time frame. This is our resistance, and the price is trying to go up, and while going up like that, it managed to do what? It managed to break the trend line. Same thing that we saw on H4, but it hasn't taken out any resistance, which means if you wanted to sell, maybe I would just hope that the price could get to that H4 resistance. Then when it gets there, this one, you can have a small trend line there. Then if the trend line is removed, you can take a sell with a pullback. You can sell that and push to the downside, because currently, even if you wanted to try push into the upside, this is the stop. This is where it needs to end. If you feel like you still have enough space to push the upside, then go for it. Get the confirmation, push up like that. But when you get to this, you are out because of what? So far, you have only defeated the sellers by what? You haven't even defeated them. You have only removed their trend line, but you haven't removed their zone. So that's why when you get to their zone, you need to be careful. So maybe if the price was to break this, then you can get a sell like that. Because you need to remember that for now, in the next coming hours or a day or two, we are just playing in between this and this, right? So which means you will be looking for sell trades there. You'll be looking for buy trades here. But because of us not breaking any zone, you always need confirmation, at least until this is removed. Then we know the sellers have won. Then we can take sell trades without confirmation. But until that happens, we buy around here, we sell around there, and we do that with confirmation. When H1, it's saying that selling, I think something like this will be perfect. But remember, you're not going to target beyond this. And buying, that's when maybe around the trend line confirmation. But the goal is to get to this. When you get there, just observe the price action there. If it's broken, then it means even the zone has been removed. Then you continue buying towards the next key structures, the next zones there at the top. So you just need to make sure that you observe how the price plays out. You observe how it moves around where it is. Then once you can see that, oh, okay, now we have touched the resistance, and I see there's bearish rejection candlesticks, and we are breaking the range of those, then maybe that's a sign for me to sell and target the next zone. You can do that. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed the analysis. Thank you.